A case going to the U.S. Supreme Court could decide whether the North Carolina State Supreme Court has the ability to rein in how state lawmakers draw congressional maps. The decision could then have national implications. WRAL's Brian Anderson has been monitoring the court battle and is here with us now. Brian, this is complicated stuff for our highest courts. Can you boil it down a bit for us to understand? What is it at stake here?
Dan, the future of political representation could hang in the balance here. Republicans say congressional maps they draw should be overseen by the federal government rather than the state courts. And really what they're asking is the U.S. Supreme Court to say as much. But this so-called independent state legislature theory is prompting concerns from many individuals and groups as well.
Talk about those concerns. Why is that?
It all comes down to checks and balances and how voters might and should be represented. Fundamentally, groups across the country say state courts should have a role in overseeing actions from state lawmakers, but that responsibility has come under some scrutiny, and in this case, Republicans accuse Democratic judges of effectively stripping their map-making authority.
Now, this has been a long, winding road to this point. How did we get here?
Yes, you might remember that North Carolina's Supreme Court rejected a congressional map that was put forward by state Republicans last year, and that would have given Republicans 11 of the 14 House seats up for grabs. A redrawn map eventually put in place by a lower court really gives Republicans 7 or 8 seats, so a little bit of a dip in power. And this is what prompted Republicans to go to the U.S. Supreme Court to step in and have them try and say that North Carolina's Supreme Court should be really cut out of this redistricting process. And many groups say the U.S. Supreme Court shouldn't let that happen.
What should we be paying attention to at this point? Where does the case currently stand?
So groups across the country, including the U.S. Department of Justice, they're filing briefs right now asking the court to reject this independent state legislature theory and rule against North Carolina's Republican lawmakers. So oral arguments at the U.S. Supreme Court are scheduled for December 7th, and the court's decision could affect how state courts across the country ensure voters are fairly represented.
Okay, coming up pretty soon. Thank you so much, Brian. Appreciate it. And you at home, you can learn more about the case and the public response by visiting NC Capital section of WRAL.com.